Alright, hey class. Today we're going to be learning a little bit about Dia de los Muertos, also known as the Day of the Dead. So let's get started. So what is Dia de los Muertos? It's a holiday originated in Mexico and Central America, and despite common belief, it is not a Mexican version of Halloween. It is a 2-day holiday that consists of parties, parades, rituals, and offerings in remembrance of the dead. Day of the Dead begins on October 31st and lasts until November 2nd. So, some of the significance about this holiday, it is spent welcoming those who have passed but come to walk the earth and visit their loved ones. It is said that the gates of heaven open up at midnight on October 31st, and the children are allowed on earth to visit their loved ones. And as for November 2nd, the adults are allowed to visit. It began as a day of thanks for the harvest, similar to Thanksgiving, and over time it became a time to put aside to remember the loved ones. So, some of the traditions included in this holiday is building altars. Most of these altars are built in the homes and sometimes on the grave sites of the deceased. On November 1st, offerings are made for the children. So, for example, if you have a child that passed, you build their offering in candy and toys and things that they enjoyed. And on November 2nd, offerings are put out for the adults, such as like beer or football shirts or any of their favorite foods that they enjoyed. The Flor de Muertos is also known as the flower of the dead. This flower is significant because it only blooms during the rainy seasons in which it falls before the holiday. And it is also believed that the flowers are here to guide the souls back to earth so that they don't get lost.
They also had traditional foods. They had sugar skulls and bread of the dead. The sugar skulls represented a departed soul and had the name written on the forehead and was placed on the altar or gravestone to honor the return of a particular spirit. Sugar skulls art reflects the folk art style of big happy smiles, colorful icing, and sparkling tin and glittery adornments. It was made with sugar pressed into a skull shape and decorated with icing. The bread of the dead, which is an offering and their loved ones that have passed. This is called calacas, and it's Spanish for skeleton. It's often shown in colorful costumes in which they are used for decoration, and they are shown dancing and smiling to represent a happy afterlife. They also had celebrations, which was called gravesite cleaning, and it's an event where graves are decorated with flowers, candles, and other gifts to wish them a farewell until they return next year. People will sometimes have parties where they share stories and happy memories with others to make this a more positive experience rather than it being sad. This is also represented respect to oral traditions in this culture. So in our classroom, we will have an activity, and we'll do it during Halloween to correspond with the dates of the Day of the Dead holiday. We would read this book as a whole group and discuss some of the cultural tradition and rituals we have learned. This activity would be great for students in grades 2, 3, 4. To wrap up this activity, I would have some paper skeletons and cut out for the students and decorate them to make it look similar to the calica to display in the classroom. I would also hang it up in our classroom so it would be fun for the students. And here are references.